Alright, so I just wanted to make a video kind of showing this new thing I've been working on. It's not really about the new thing, but I just wanted to make something that maybe see how I do stuff and see what I'm up to. Just kind of maybe explain a couple things musically, like kind of what I like about this so far. Yeah, it's not finished. Might be different if I do finish it, but this riff for sure I feel like it's gonna work out. But anyway, I'm gonna just play this. It's basically intro, and then there's like this main riff part that I made up, and then there's a second part, and then it kind of goes back to the main part. But anyway, it's the intro part. So that's basically the riff, and I kind of repeat it. A little bit different. I added pulse 2. Alright, this is like the verse-y part. A little bit more bass line going here. And this has that extra delay. The length on the delay. This is like back to the intro, or the main part. This next part, I'm like middle of thinking about. I'm not even fully thought it out. I was thinking I'll just go back to the intro chords, I guess. Yeah, come up with something there. That's good to go to something, but anyway. Alright, so we got this intro, which I think turned out pretty cool. He's got like this heavy vibe. It's like, hey, we're about ready to get going on whatever it is. I got like the main line here, and then the delay on this channel. This channel is like... So it's that repeated over these chords here. Pretty simple. And then we got, you know, the bass line. It's just 4 chords: the A, F, D, E, and so the part that pulse 2 actually has a little bit of harmony, kind of doing some stuff. The thing that's coolest in my opinion would be the this like E part right here. It just pops out. This is supposed to be like the delay channel right here, pulse 1 on the VRC. I just hit this E. I don't know why, but it is lower. It just friggin' makes it like, hey, we're ready to go. That's the 5 of the A that we're going into. That just sounds like, it just stands out. It's cool. So then it goes straight into this. And it's just a riff. Same thing over the top of 4 chord. 4 bass notes. And the thing that really gives it some good dissonance here is this pulse 2 I have. It's basically A sharp, G sharp, A, G sharp. It's just like makes it sound real dissonant. So let me just ramp this up to like ramp up the volume a bit so you can kind of hear how dissonant it is. It stands out. So that's what that sounds like. You can hear that. Hear that. That's resolved. And it's like, yeah, you gotta down a half step. So just turning it up a bit kind of lets you hear that, like, what? It's like it's kind of hidden in there, and you're like, man, why does it sound so freaking sick? Why does it sound so awesome? Well, that's that. Another part that's really cool is this like break. Originally, I didn't have that there, but like that just gives it. Originally, I think it was like another E or something, or it was maybe another D. That's what I think it was. And this just sounds weak. If that break there just like gives it like a, hey, I'm changing parts, going to a different thing. See that? It's like yeah, that's just not it. You give it that break, and then it makes it feel like it's on the upbeat because you're hitting that A right after. So you're like, oh my god, this fucking sausage is heavy. I think it was 4. Every time I try to like start something mid, whatever this is, mid part, it's just like the volumes are always all fucked up. Yeah. Same with I was gonna start this delay thing's gonna be all retarded too. So like that. So start. That was like a waste of time. Oh, cause yeah, fuck. That little break though, just wait for it. You'll hear what I'm saying. Yeah, right. Then I do it again. Yeah, that sounds sweet. And then I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. I want to do the same thing again. Don't want to do it exactly the same. So then you add I add something on pulse 2, which is similar, but it's got like the A's, and then it has this E here though, which hits right when the F hits, and that sounds like sinister. Oh, whoops. So it just gives it more like, definitely more depth. And you're gonna do something twice, do something, and you don't want it to be too much different. Do something like that. Kind of go with the same idea. My idea is to be dissonant. Idea is to be like kind of like killer, And then I give that same channel a bit more of a line on this part. Give it just a little bit of a line. But at the end here, I give it some nice harmony. That's pretty cool. The ending part here. This part sounds sweet. That sounds awesome. And then we go back to this like this next part's kind of like a verse feel, because a lot of times when you're doing like a rock music, you have your chorus where the chords progress like this much, and then the verse progresses twice as much. Gives it so that, I don't know why, that's just the terminology I would use. It sounds verse like. just because it's the same chords, but they're just twice as long. So, and then the melody is different on the lead, but the cool thing about it is that it's one extra note. So the next time I play it, it's late, it's like late an upbeat. So it's late on the upbeat. So this is where the melody restarts, and it's one line after the bass note. Yeah, it's like one after. Now it's two after. So gives it like this like uneven, unsettling feeling. This kind of like math type shit I always try to make something kind of feel like it's like you're counting it. Like if you're going to be counting it, it's like 16, but this is like 17. You know, this is like 17 long, 17 of these. Right? Is that what it is? I don't know. Oh, yeah, it's like from here to, yeah, 17. So that kind of shit, just like, oh, it's like 17, it should be 16, everything should be in fours, you know, and then you throw something with like one off, and then you just keep going from there. It's called like a polyrhythm, but it doesn't really, I'm not sure if it's a polyrhythm because it doesn't like, I only do it twice, so then the next, it's just one off. I don't know what I would call it. It doesn't matter what you call it. Names are, it's just the label of something, describing something. Okay, so then I do want to do that again. So on this time, I take the delay and make it twice as long. So the delay normally is like three of these lines, and then instead on this next time I did it in 6. So we go from to, gives it, you can hear it stands out way more for sure. Stands out totally. It sounds sweet. I was like, man, I did that. I was thinking about it. I was like, man, I make this delay a little different. And when I did that, I was like, boom. That was like I was like right on with that. But I also changed the bass. It's like, add some like this bass, like these bass lines and shit. They're like, basic. They're like super basic. I'm like hitting the one. And I got a little bit of an ascending thing on this, but it's like keeping it basic. And that was like kind of by design, because this next time I ham it up a bit. It's got a little bit of some octaves. Throwing some octaves. I was like, oh man, this sounds killer. Yeah, that G is like not the right note. I think I'm like completely torn on which note I'm so shit. On which note I need to do here. I had this G sharp for a while, and then I was like, is it the A? And then that sounded wrong. Then the G, that sounds wrong. I think it's this note though. I think this is the right note. I know that interval right here, yeah, I can see why that doesn't sound good, because that's that's the tritone, the double tone, but it's here, the G sharp is here, and it's going up a fifth from this D sharp. I think that's right. Sounds could be sounding bad, but because this bass note here is a D sharp, So that's definitely right. Maybe it's this. Nah, I don't know. I'll think about that a bit more. Then I kind of just go back to the main riff, and then this is like this. I want to kind of tone it down a bit for a little bit, for a minute, and then kind of get back into the mix, get back into the main riff. So I just was like, oh, maybe I just plugged this out like really quickly just now, and it's got the chords of the intro. So I thought I'd bring those back. The F, G, E. But this ending part with that doesn't lead at all, so I gotta fix this whole ending part. Transition into something that doesn't make, because this whole part here, that sounds like you're going back to something kill, but we're not going to something kill. We're gonna go into something kind of down a bit. But yeah, so anyway, this song I think sounds cool so far. Oh shit. And it just takes a lot of work, you know. You're just typing shit out and you're thinking about it, and then overthinking maybe sometimes, and then listening a lot. That's kind of what I like about doing this, because I can listen to it and think about it and hear everything clearly, you know, without having to, you know, play it 1,000 times with like real instruments. And yeah, as far as like the drums go, that's kind of like a placeholder right now. I haven't really thought too much about drum beats. But yeah, anyway, that's kind of what I'm about to do. That's my sitting at the computer kind of doing music. I don't know, this could be played on a Nintendo, like a game console. And dude, if I heard some shit like this, like on a game, and I'm like trying to, you know, go through levels and shit, I'd be like, holy, I'd be like, what? What? I'd be blown away. I'd be like, holy shit, this sounds cool. I'll just put the controller down, let this shit repeat. That shit is, I don't know, that fucking G, I don't know, that part there is pissing me off. But yeah, think about it, listen to this, you're playing fucking River City Ransom and you hit a enemy, like a boss battle, and this comes out? What? Or Turtles or some shit? Man. That would be fire. But yeah, anyway. I've always liked the old game consoles with the synths, and like, it's really cool working with these synths. But yeah, anyway, that's all.